Hi, these comments are for MT, and I am Michael from OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com. I just read your essay. I gave you some feedback on that. So let's see how you're doing with your TOEFL speaking. So I have the rubrics right here. So independent speaking task. Let's take a look at the email, what you wrote in here. You say, please, Michael, please listen to evaluate score and provide feedback on my independent speaking practice test. That's exactly what I'm going to do. You say, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Artists and musicians are important to a society. Use details and examples to explain your answer. You say, I got some free time today, so I'm doing some speaking boot camp together with my writing one, this time to get out of my comfort zone. I tried to use more advanced grammar with more various sentence structures. Good. However, in the very beginning, hardly could I speak out directly. Look at that. You got the hardly, and then you have what's called the subject-verb inversion. So I wrote a draft, had it modified a few times, read it aloud, and finally got rid of the draft to speak naturally. Then it comes to what you will hear today. I may not be able to use them at my real TOEFL exam, but the more I practice, the higher possibility I will be able to. Exactly. Here's the key. If you only use the template, and you use that template every time you do speaking practice, it restricts your language proficiency to only that one area. But what you're doing is you're not using templates. You're trying different ways of creating your speaking responses. And guess what? You're expanding your ability to talk about things with a better range of grammar and vocabulary. So this is exactly what you should be doing. You're not just practicing for the TOEFL right now. You are improving your English, your speaking proficiency forever. Forever and ever. That's the key. And that's why what you're doing is good. So this is really good practice, what you're doing here. I promise you, long after the TOEFL is over, long after you get the 27, the 28 on the speaking section, long after you're done with that, what you're doing here will benefit you with your speaking. You will be able to communicate more fluently, more clearly, with a better range of grammar and vocabulary when you're talking to native speakers. That's what you want, right? All right, so this is good. So artists and musicians are important. Use details. Do you agree or disagree with the idea? I'm listening to your practice test
It is
right now.
important to have artists and musicians without whom hardly can any format of entertainment exist. To illustrate, without actors, a type of artist, hardly can any movies be produced. Then some people may argue
No, be careful. Don't overuse those subject-verb inversions. Maybe once in a speaking response is good, but don't overuse them.
that animated movies do not need any actors. However, what they probably don't know is, for the film production of an animated movie such as Inside Out produced by Pixar,
Good
40
movie.
to 60 animators are needed and who are also artists. To sum up, without artists and musicians, hardly can we get any entertainment, which possibly will turn everyone into a working machine.
Okay, good. So, yeah, be careful about overusing a certain grammatical structure, but maybe you're doing that so you can develop more competency with that. Hardly. And maybe throw ever in there. Hardly ever can we, blah, blah, blah. Or hardly ever will we, blah, blah, blah. Something like that. So, I think overall, looking at the rubrics, let's look at it one more time. So I think it's strong. I'm going to say 24 to 26 on this one, not 25 to 27. Right? So 24 to 26. Let's listen to it one more time and let's see if I uncover any specific problems in there that might affect your intelligibility or your language use or topic development. Here we
For
go.
a society, it is important to have artists and musicians without whom hardly can any format of entertainment exist.
Without whom hardly can any format. Wow, my goodness. Without whom? Are you kidding me? The preposition plus the relative object pronoun and then the subject verb inversion? Woo! Wow. That is some crazy grammar right there.
To illustrate, without actors, a type of artist, hardly can any movies be produced. Then some people may argue that animated movies do not need any actors. However, what they probably don't know is, for the film production of an animated movie such as Inside Out produced by Pixar,
Such as Inside Out,
40 to 60 animators are needed and who are also artists. To sum up, without artists and musicians, hardly can we get any entertainment, which possibly will turn everyone into a working machine.
okay, why is it going to turn them into working machines? So that part at the end there, I'm not sure I would say that because it's not quite clear what you're trying to say and you're out of time and you cannot explain it anymore. Okay, so I think my score is pretty accurate. What did I say? I said 24 to 26. So yes. So I think you answered the topic, you gave some examples in there, you threw in some advanced grammar, but maybe you're overusing the subject verb inversion with the negative, the hardly, blah, blah, blah. Be careful you don't overuse a certain grammar structure in a response. That would be my advice for your language use. Delivery, I think that you're having some problems with pacing, and particularly with your thought groups, and even more specifically, the blending within the thought groups. I think you can make some improvement in that area. I want you to go over to the pronunciation part of my course. Take a look at the lessons, thought groups and blending. It's pronunciation lessons 41 through 44. That's an important area for you to take a look at. All right? And thank you for doing this practice test. And keep up the good work. I admire your work ethic. You're really serious about improving your English. You really think about what you do before you do it. So I promise you, in the long run, not only are you going to have a TOEFL score between 27 and 30 on the speaking, but I believe you'll also get over 115 on the TOEFL. But more important than all of that is what you're doing is improving your English proficiency for the long term, forever. That's the main thing, right? So keep up the great work on that.